this Frank Nazar kid. Remember when people were calling him overpaid for only having played 56 games before the extension?
Yeah?
And in their season opener, he not only scored the first goal of the 25-26 season, but he also contributed on the Blackhawks' other goal.
Yeah.
So if he continues at this pace, it's going to look like if Blackhawks got him at a deal.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go Hawks, baby!
Blackhawks haven't been in good state for a while. And to that I say, yeah, a lot of their games this season were a hard match. Pieces are there. Blackhawks fans, take it chill, be patient, and everything will work out in the end.
Welcome to Blackhawks Central. Blackhawks are back, baby! Let's go! Let's go, Hawks! Back in the season, first goal of the year, let's frickin' go! I hate that we lost. I hate the Florida Panthers. Why are the NHL having us play against the top team in the league in our first game of the season? They're banner raising. Why? Why? It doesn't make any sense. But the Blackhawks are back. Love that Blackhawks hockey's back. Let's go. Oh, fired up. Fired up for Blackhawks hockey being back. Love it. Hi there. Welcome to Blackhawks Central, where we're going to be doing a big Blackhawks game review today. Blackhawks game review. Blackhawks game review. Blackhawks hockey is back, baby. And that's what we can say best about here. But obviously, the score didn't go our way today, but I think a lot of what we can take from today is major positives, as the Blackhawks had a pretty alright game against the Florida Panthers. In the home opener for Florida, they would win 3-2 against the Hawks. Unfortunately, to Hawks fan chagrins. Unlucky, to say the least. But many positives to take away from the game. I think the first period, Blackhawks were very squeamish, kind of all over the place. Icky, just hockey. Not stuff you enjoy too much. And that was for the majority of the first period. Was Artie took a very early on penalty for a slash, and then he got a trip later on. 4 minutes of penalty minutes in the first game of season, first period, much less. Rotten start for Artie. He had a bit of an off game, but to be expected out of a 19-year-old defender. He'll have to develop much more throughout the season. I saw a tweet earlier today that said that what we saw from him today shouldn't be what we see from him in January. So hopefully he develops a bit more, but it's just a rotten first period and didn't get much better throughout the game. It was all Florida for the first 10 minutes until Frank Nazar gets through on a breakaway from Bertuzzi and Teravainen, gets on a breakaway, snipes it over Bob's shoulder. This kid is known for this so far. He scores first career goal like this. He had multiple opportunities similar to the ones last year, but now he's actually finishing them. To score the first goal of the NHL season is unreal. Frank Nazar is going to be an absolute stud this year. But unfortunately, the Hawks, you know the Hawks. You hate it, you love it. You kind of have to deal with it. But Blackhawks, after scoring, were getting scored on. No pushback, as the Florida Panthers, AJ Greer and Gadjevich, would strike back a minute later, unfortunately, and that would put the Blackhawks back at a tie game. And not only 3 minutes later, after the second Artie penalty, the Florida Panthers would score on the power play for Hagee from Samoskevich. A lot of things went on there. I think our defensive structure, as far as penalty kill, from what I've seen from the preseason and going to this season, I'll be honest, I think Jeff Blashill has absolutely neutered our special teams. I'll get ahead on it. The Blackhawks power play, bollocks. Didn't score a single power play goal, and I think we had like 4 opportunities. It just isn't good enough, and I think we had a really successful power play last year, and to see it not be as successful this year is big yikes. But as far as what happened on the penalty kills haven't been great either. But I think I get the shape. Rinzel basically a lot happened. It's a bit of a scramble. Rinzel lost his man, and then Spencer Knight had jumped way out of his net to try poke checking the puck away, but it just took a bad bounce, ended up in the corner. Greer grabbed it, and as Spencer Knight was trying to get back into the net, got to his post, and then he lost his footing, and Greer just sniped it top the opposite side from where Spencer Knight was standing. I don't blame Spencer Knight too much, just lost his footing a little. You wish he had it, but I think Greer was wide open. It was basically a free shot for Greer to take there, so I don't. Or Greer, Verhage, Jesus. Verhage to take on the power play there. I don't blame him. Verhage from Samoskevich on the power play. The rest of the period, Blackhawks seemed pretty chill, pretty mediated. Bedard had very few good looks. I think early on in the first, he had one that went right off the crossbar, a few inches lower. We're talking about him having a goal in his first game. First goal of the season, by the way, but missed just 3 inches off the crossbar and up. Oh my god. Bedard had so many good looks, just could not finish. Set up Burkowski a few times. Him and Donato played really well, I think. But yeah, Bedard's off-season improvements easily shown. I thought he played excellently today. As far as his counterpart right now, Frank Nazar. Whew, boy. Where do I start? Obviously, I already talked about the goal, sniped it. But to start the second, he makes obviously the breakout play from Bertuzzi to find Nazar and Teravainen going up ice, 2-on-1, sauced it over. Teravainen, unreal snipe to be fair. Honestly, unreal snipe. Teravainen snipes at home, ties the game back up at 2, only a minute into the second. And as far as the second goes, I think Blackhawks settled in. We started playing our game, started becoming competitive, and at that point, I think it's stalemate. Nobody really found an edge to get that extra goal. Blackhawks pushed, Panthers pushed, etc. I think both sides played quite well, and then the stalemate, the breaker of that stalemate was 9 minutes into the third, where Jesper Boquist on a bouncing puck that you just hate to see. Only these types of goals only go in the Blackhawks. The Blues last year absolutely hate that goal, but it is really good. This for the first tic-tac-toe in the era, but of course a very similar looking goal for Jesper Boquist. Just these goals don't go in on anybody else but the Blackhawks. It seems. You just hate to see it. Don't blame it on Knight. I don't really blame it on the defense. Puck just took a bad bounce off the backboards to the front of the net. I think who was it? Samoskevich one touched it, flicked it into the air across the crease, and it just happened to hit off Boquist and into the goal. Unlucky, just unlucky. And then obviously game ends 3-2. Bit of shenanigans at the end of the game with Blashill not wanting to pull a goalie, even though Knight was wanting to pull himself. He's signaling multiple times. From what I've heard, people saying this is the right call to keep him in the net just because there's a lot of chance for empty nets. Sure, I guess so. But pulling with 56 left just didn't give us enough time to set up and get something going. And yeah, game ends 3-2. Panthers go to 1-0-0. Blackhawks go 0-1-0. Not an ideal start to the season, but then again, we're road tripping to the sunny state down in Florida for our first game of the season against the reigning Stanley Cup champs. All while they are injured. To be fair, they're missing Chucky, they're missing Barkov, etc. So I get they're injured, but this is still the defending champions. So what are you gonna do? Florida's gonna Florida, and they're gonna spoil the show in Chicago. Obviously, man of the hour, Seth Jones, after coming from Chicago, absolutely most hated man in Chicago for a while there. He's in his October Blackhawks form. Didn't look all too stand out as today. Didn't record a point. Almost got cooked by Bedard there for a second, but just no finish on the end of that. But oh boy, Seth Jones. can't say much. I'm happy he's gone. I'm glad we got Spencer Knight out of that trade. Obviously, Florida's gonna thank Chicago, thank Chicago. Even though, because I mean, I guess I won the cup because I got traded Seth Jones, but I don't think it was because Seth Jones. Seth Jones just managed to get a cup because he went to the right team at the right time. So, thank Chicago, thank Chicago. No, thank you, Florida. You gave us our 1A for the future. And Spencer Knight, unreal tonight. 34 saves on 37 shots, 919 save percentage. That's stuff you love to see out of your goalie. He's going to be facing a lot of nights like that. I hope. I sorry, I don't hope. I hope not. He doesn't have to face those very often. But good God, Spencer Knight's going to have to stand on his head for us to have any success in wins this year, because we're going to get heavily outshot. As on the other end of the ice, Bob saves 17 on 19. Mediocre day for Bob. I mean, Blackhawks we don't shoot. I wish we shot the puck more, but we just don't get the opportunities forced out, and so unfortunately, just don't get to pepper opposing keeper as much. Power play, didn't look good tonight. Kept missing. And on the other end of it, the PK did all right. Not the one Florida power play in, and you hate to see that. You hate to see that. But I mean, we'll be seeing how this works out. I'm hoping they learn the new system really quickly. I'm surprised that the power play PK has gone to the bin, because Anders Sorensen should be on the bench still, and he led a pretty successful power play PK unit. I don't know. I think maybe some players just have lost a step on the PK. Like Dickinson, I noticed last year had lost a step on the PK. He looked really good to start the season, but towards the end he just wasn't anything. And then even to start this season, he hasn't looked like anything special in the PK. Mikheyev last year on the PK, unreal penalty killer right there. Elite to say. I think he was one of the reasons why the penalty kill for the Blackhawks was quite successful in our part. But to start the season, Mikheyev has looked off. It's not the same player that I was watching last season. Just hasn't. Maybe it's because he's not playing with the players that he was playing with last year. At the points he was playing on the top line with Bedard, so it might be something like that. But his penalty kill numbers just it's it's serviceable, I guess, but like it just hasn't been anything special to the degree of what I thought I saw in the PK unit last year. Because last year with the PK unit, I think we went almost 2 months without letting a goal in. I didn't mention it at the time because I didn't want to jinx it, but like I was keeping track of that, and it was like multiple games. Uh, like we almost went like 20, 22 games without letting in a power play goal for the other team. Like the penalty kill there was unreal there for a second, and that's obviously why we had really good special teams, even though we finished second last in the league. So I don't know what Blashill's done to the system. I hope they figure it out. You hope that they figure it out and get higher up. But I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Blashill so far as a coach, I mean, he's done his job. I think the culture is getting better there for sure. They mentioned on the broadcast that we have the second youngest roster to start this season at, I think, average age 26.5. Very carried by our defense and Bedard and Nazar and Green, I think, and our goalies, of course, because our forward core is not young. But that's grievances for another time. As far, I mean, that's the main game review today. I'll end it off there. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts on what this game was. I hope I resolved all the conflicts we had with this game. I feel this game was unfortunate at times for Blackhawks. Definitely could have come away with a better result, but so be it. We'll move on. And so we'll end it off there. Peace out. See you next time, Blackhawkers.